Hey guys, Mike Hansel of Small Arms Pistol Academy. So recently I've had a lot of people ask me some basic questions about their firearm and if I could do some how-to videos of, how to do that. So I figured that would be a great thing to do today. Now, one of the things that a lot of times people don't understand exactly how to do it correctly is their sights. And you could play around with it and eventually you'll figure it out, but in the meantime, you might waste a lot of ammo. So if you actually just utilize your owner's manual, it tells you exactly how to do it. So I just turned it to the sight adjustment section, and it says right here that the model equipped with adjustable sights, turning the top elevation sight adjustment screw clockwise lowers the impact of the shot. Turning the horizontal or the windage sight adjustment screw clockwise moves the impact shot to the left. So I'm going to point out where those would actually be on the firearm itself. So let's get that in focus. Right here would actually be our top, and that's gonna be the screw you have to use if you want to adjust the height. Now on the side of it, you have your windage, or the horizontal one right there. So if you adjust that, you can adjust your windage. So basically what's going to happen, if I wanted to move this dovetail right here, left or right, I could utilize that screw and adjust it by reading the book so I could actually get my point of impact maybe to the left or further to the right. So what it's going to do is when it moves it left or right, it's going to change how you're actually aiming the gun by bringing it over to the left or over to the right a little bit more so that your front sight can still align here and you can take a more accurate shot. Now, for this one, it's basically going to adjust it, so it's going to bring it down or bring it back up so that you can actually have your point of impact would be brought up or brought down, so again, you could have a more accurate shot. So that's an example as far as the Mark IV, and that's a Ruger pistol right there, one of my favorite target pistols. But let's say we were going to use a different gun, like a revolver. This is the Ruger SP101. Both of these guns are the firearms that I like utilizing in my class because they're phenomenal target shooting firearms. Now, I really like the owner's manual for this one because you can actually see a picture as far as your elevation and that windage goes, and they tell you which directions you need to turn it. So down here it says to raise point of impact, turn screw counterclockwise. All right, cool. So if you were shooting, we'll say too low, well, you have to raise your point of impact, so you're going to turn that elevation knob to the left or counterclockwise so you can bring your impact higher. Over on the windage side here, it says to move the point of impact to the right, turn the screw counterclockwise. So let's say we're actually trying to move our point of impact to the left. Well, below it, it says to move the point of impact to the left, turn screw clockwise. So this time, you're going to actually adjust it clockwise so that we could bring our impact over to the left. So it's really cool how it breaks it down, shows you the diagram of it, but again, it's all inside that owner's manual for your particular pistol. So when you buy a firearm, my best recommendation for you is to actually read the owner's manual so that you can have it perfect for you. Now, I do have another firearm. So let me show you. This is actually clear. We don't have any ammo in it. This firearm here actually has two different things that you could adjust. I have an optic on here, and this is made by Trigicon. So up on top of here, I'll try to bring it up. Maybe you can actually read it. It says 1 click, 1 MOA, and it has an up with an arrow going counterclockwise. And over on the side right here, it says if you want to adjust it to the right, you actually go counterclockwise. So again, depending how your impact is, you could read the owner's manual for the optic itself and you could figure out how to adjust it. But this gun also has iron sights. So if you just wanted to adjust the iron sights because you weren't running an optic, you could open up your owner's manual for that particular pistol. So why don't we do that? If I go right to my table of contents, I can find where it says sight adjustment, and it says page 27. So I'm just going to turn to page 27. And here we go. Sight adjustment, page 27. So what I'm going to read real fast is how to do this. All right, cool. So basically, we still have a set screw this time, so it's a little bit different than what the other firearms were. Let's see if we can get that more in focus for you. I don't think it's going to focus, but there's a set screw that's inside here, and it says to actually adjust the windage right here, you have to loosen that set screw. Then what you're going to do is take a drift punch, and you should be utilizing something like plastic or something lighter because you don't want to mar up the metal down here. And you'll put your drift punch actually on the dovetail of the sight itself and just tap it with a mallet so you can drift it left or bring it over to the right. And that way you could actually sight in the wind, or excuse me, your windage of that sight right there to the left or right. Now, as far as the front sight goes, you could replace different things, so you could change your elevation, so you could get a different front sight post, and it could be lower or higher. If it's higher, it's basically going to bring your impact down. If it's lower, it's going to bring the impact up because of how you would have to hold the gun to angle it that way. But this works out perfect for me, and I am actually running suppressor height sights on here. That way I can actually co-witness through my optic as well. In the event my battery were to die or something, I could still utilize my iron sights and have an accurate shot. So I hope that kind of helped you. But my biggest advice for you is it doesn't matter what firearm. So whether you're running something like this Smith & Wesson, this is their performance center, and it's also a ported barrel, ported slide. And it is also cut. It's called the Core, so competition optic ready. Basically, read your owner's manual for that particular gun. If you're going to be running something more like a 22, that's a target pistol, again, read your owner's manual for it, and it'll tell you exactly how to do that. If you get into a wheel gun like this SP101, this is a 357, but you could just read your owner's manual and it actually shows you exactly how to do everything. So that's my best recommendation, is especially if you're new to firearms. It does not hurt to read your owner's manual so that you can have the exact idea of what you're doing so you don't cause injury to self or others out at the gun range. The biggest tip I have for you though, outside of reading the owner's manual, is anytime I go to adjust one of these sights, make sure there's no magazine in it. Open up your chamber and verify that there is no ammo in here. You don't want to be playing around with a screwdriver or something and holding the gun differently than how you're supposed to with a round actually in your chamber and accidentally pull that trigger or something. So the first thing you should do, and the book even tells you, step number 1, verify your firearm is completely unloaded before you go to adjust your sights. That's the best tip I could have for you guys as far as preventing any type of accident, harming yourself or others out at the gun range. Verify it's unloaded. If you are going to be utilizing something that has a slide, go ahead and work it a few times like that, lock it to the rear, then visually and physically inspect it to ensure that there's nothing inside that mag well or inside your chamber. I hope that kind of answered some of those questions for you guys. And at the end of the day, get out there, practice, train with that tool, read your owner's manual to learn all the specifics about your particular gun, because every firearm is slightly different. So just read your owner's manual. You'll be thrilled that you did when you get out to the gun range and you start shooting like a pro. Hey guys, thanks for jumping in. If you're new to the channel, as always, make sure you click subscribe, turn that alert notification on, leave a comment down below, click like, whatever you guys do, it helps us beat that algorithm. And I can't thank you enough for that. So thanks again. Take care.